So we live in an innovative world.
We live in an innovative world.
Yes, I think we live in an innovative world.
I definitely support innovation.
20 years ago, my dad could not speak to my mom every single day, and they were married. But one was living in Paris and the other one was living in Mauritius. And now we literally have something where we're not even paying to talk to someone.
The article also talked about that most innovation nowadays are like within tech. So maybe even though like the tech industry has continued to grow a lot during the last years, there are other like industries stagnating. For example, in this article, the focus is vaccines and how it's still extremely expensive, and it takes so much time and like so many resources to develop them, and they're also very inefficient. So I believe that yes, we like the world has become more innovative on some like within some fields, for example, like your phone and that type of technology, but in a lot of other fields, it's still lacking, or it's going a lot slower than what it did in the 20th century.
We didn't go as fast as they wanted us to go, because a few decades ago they were saying like, yeah, by 2050 we will have flying cars, we will have like stuff that we couldn't even imagine. And I don't think by 2050 we will have flying cars. So we didn't go.
Because if you speak to your grandparents when they were younger, like talking on the phone was not something they could imagine. So why can't we think of having flying cars in 2020?
Oh no, we can for sure think about it. It's just that so far, like if you surveys,
it's just unbelievable. But just for them, it was unbelievable to think.
I don't think that it's that unbelievable. Like it wasn't surprised me at all to have flying cars.
They're obviously coming, but what Marine said that was that service shows that it's actually much slower. Like people were expecting it some even by 2030. Like how do you think 2020 is going to be? Then people were like, oh, it's going to be like woo, but no, it's basically not that. We've just continued to develop on the like existing things we've had. So it's actually been slower than a lot of people anticipated and thought.
How do you see future in 10, 20, 30 years?
I feel like we're gonna like keep to innovate and try to maybe like develop what we already have, but like it said, you feel like it's getting slower and slower and slower and slower, because I feel like it's harder to innovate because everything has been done. So yeah, maybe we're gonna develop things that are crazy and that like we can not imagine them yet. Maybe like these things have started to be created. I don't know, we're gonna have flying cars or things like that. Like this is the most cliche example ever, but I think that it's gonna be slow, because innovation like was at his peak, at its peak maybe 50 years ago, and everything was invented and like the world completely changed. So I don't think that we can like reach such a big innovation peak again.
What's your role in the future?
I think my role, before innovating much more, we need to deal with the problems we have now, like hunger in Africa, and there's other things we need to sort out before.
20 years ago, you could get from London to New York in 4 hours or even less, and now it's 7 or 6. What do you think about that?
The other planes that we were using that were allowing us to go from Paris to New York in 4 hours, maybe like they were super polluting. And I'm not saying that the ones that we're using right now was like perfectly perfect for the environment, but I feel like this is better than before, and of course like it has a cost, so they decided to save the planet rather than being there 2 hours early.
So what they cost, like says the cost is because of safety, because like there were 2 crashes and they couldn't really tell why. And they were like, it wasn't safe enough. But don't you think they should be able to come up with a solution to fix the safety problem in like 20 years time?
They prefer to be safe than to be efficient,
But I don't think why do we need to go from Paris to New York that quick?
Yeah, like why?
Innovation is all about. If you say like if you say that flying to New York from London to New York is in 4 hours is not necessary, then why would we need flying cars?
Exactly.
Okay, so after reading the article, I definitely support innovation. I think that life as we know it today and the world as we know it today would not be the same if innovations hadn't been made. But I also firmly believe in the purpose of patterns that innovation should be protected because if not, people wouldn't want to innovate and create new things if their ideas are just going to be used away by anybody. Um, and I also think that it has opened my eyes in a certain way because we normally think when we think about innovations, we relate it with like big technological changes and machines and an investment of millions and millions of dollars. But we do not like give the attention to small innovations that people make, like the example on the article, right? With the malaria nets, and I think that now I see that innovation can be made by me in my house. I don't know, for example, by creating a system to clean the house more easily, and we all have creativity in ourselves, and we can innovate in our certain way. And also, I believe that in the future we are going to continue being full of innovations and new things. And although we can be afraid of changes, um, they are just gonna keep coming, and we cannot do anything to change it. And yeah.